And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Changeling the Lost, the Smoky Mountain Wilds. And I was wrong. Jeremy did get into Roll20 before he went live.
Yes, I did.
Hello, everybody. I am William or Shawnee, and I am your storyteller for this Changeling the Lost Second Edition Chronicle. And joining me today, we have Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy. I am playing Jackson Montgomery or Marlena Dubois, depending who is a fuck.
What's your kith and
What's
seeming?
my kiss and seeming? I was in Roll20, but I did not have a character sheet up. Ferris Chatelaine.
Yes. And Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I am playing Calliope Danielle Scott, also known as Kaleidoscope. And she is a elemental polychromatic.
And Drev.
Drevian, I'm playing Frisian, the Darkling Hunterheart.
All right, I forgot he was a Darkling, not a beast.
Yeah, he looks like he should be, or an elemental.
And Katie.
Hi, my name's Katie. I am playing Joe, who is an elemental notary.
Yes. And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. Eat the rich, defend drag. Happy Pride, happy Juneteenth, by the way. Yep. It's Juneteenth. And as we left off, the initial group of the first three of the changelings that we have met in this chronicle, having escaped just recently from the bonds of their captor and tumbled their way out of a small shack in the middle of the mountains to the east of Dollywood in Tennessee. The group were met shortly by a unusual changeling who identified themselves as Matchstick, a relatively friendly-looking changeling who seemed to be rocking the old coal miner aesthetic, but underneath the mask was seemingly a being made of a burning ember of coal, who offered them food, a little bit of explanation of where they were and what was going on, and who and what they were now as changelings, and gave them a little bit of information about where they've ended up, and specifically in the Freehold, the Smoky Mountain Freehold, that runs from Knoxville to Cherokee in the state of Tennessee. With the group of them adjourning from there with a ride from Matchstick to a residence that my brain is blanking as I'm looking at character names in front of my face. Jackson owned. The group were surprised to find how mixed and strange the new world was in front of them. Several of them from various time periods. One of them from the 90s, one of them from the 1940s, having been a World War II soldier before they were taken. The group took some time to adjust, both to their new forms and to their new circumstances, as they took the evening to rest and sort of get to know each other and gather information. We come to in the morning as the camera focuses on Jackson, who has worked through the night and may not actually have gotten any sleep.
Nope. So Jackson, as the camera comes up, Jackson is wherever Calliope ended up falling asleep, I believe it was in the front room on the pull out the hide bed.
Yeah.
Is just standing over Calliope, like not hovering directly over, like a couple steps back. In I would say like half drag, so like makeup, hair, no outfit.
So yeah, like glammed up makeup, but not wearing
Glammed
the full
up
drag
makeup,
outfit.
full makeup, very classic 40s style wig. But no, Clappy, are you awake?
I am now.
Clappy, I have some questions.
I could say the same thing. She'll
I-
sit up.
I realize that this may not have been the first thing to bring up. It would not have occurred to you to bring this up first thing. But am I correct in understanding that there have been for approximately 10 years a preponderance of drag queens on television nationally?
Yeah, RuPaul and
Yeah. I know RuPaul. I don't know, but I know of RuPaul. But this is on TV.
She'll just silently
Like
reach
this is
over.
norm. This is like popular apparently.
Oh, sweetie, drag queens are all the rage. And she'll just grab the remote and pull up.
Oh yeah, it's probably like it's paused on like the judging table right now.
Drag queens are all the rage right now. Literally in
I mean literally the rage.
Yeah.
And I missed okay. I have a lot more questions. I have a lot more questions about certain things that have happened in the last 2.5 decades. I think I'm starting to get up to the gist. See, I've been working. That calms me down. And while I was, I find out music is online now, and not like Napster, like actually online now. You don't have to LimeWire everything anymore.
Oh, sweetie. No, you don't.
I am just now learning that RuPaul is from Atlanta.
Yes, RuPaul is from Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Really got popular in New York, but yeah, has really strong roots in Atlanta. There's a really big drag scene there.
Oh, I know there's a big drag scene. I just didn't know that RuPaul specifically was from Atlanta.
Yep. And I was trying to figure out what, find out what music's popular now. I have a lot of questions about that, but that's not something to talk. I realize you are just waking up, and that's probably a longer conversation. But I started finding on this Spotify thing lots of names that I was somewhat familiar with, but they're apparently popular music artists now. And Rue's one of them, and that was very confusing to me. So I started looking on this on the internet, which is way different than I remember.
Oh, it's only gotten worse.
Yeah, it did seem that way a little bit, but good too. And then I found this, and I'm very confused.
Well,
happy but confused.
Right. See, there's been a lot of pushback for the LGBT. How's the acronym moved up now? The LGBTQIA plus community, and they're more in the spotlight now. And which one you got questions about?
I got the first five. First five, I think I can make sense of.
The eye on the AI.
I'll look that up later. Queer just works. But yeah. So this is this is not actually, as I was thinking, maybe it was just an issue, maybe I was going to the wrong websites. But this is actually all right.
So
Also, what is Hulu? Because there's apparently a show on there.
see, Hulu is a streaming service. Basically, you pay a monthly subscription. You're able to watch specific shows that they've curated. So, or originals that they've made,
Interesting.
which aren't always a hit, but
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I'm sorry for waking you. I will let you. It is morning now, though. Oh wow, it is morning now.
And Frisian's still standing by the window.
I've gotten used to that. He just seems to be standing.
Is
Did
Frisian
either
still
of you
standing up, or did he
two-
just not sleep?
He did not sleep.
did either of you
course.
two sleep?
No, I did kind of forget. It's fine.
She will roll out of bed and walk to the kitchen and just start making coffee.
Pour herself a cup of ambition.
Yeah, you're gonna want to make your own coffee because there is coffee in there, but it has a little extra something in it, and I don't know if that's something that.
Gotcha.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave you to get ready. I have some things to continue to catch up on. And yeah, he goes back into his workroom.
Frisian, you can come away from that window now, sweetie.
Frisian like looks back over. Like he wasn't like just staring out the window. He was like actively looking. He's like, yeah. Jackson reminded me that it's like I can move. I've just been looking.
Well,
It's actually
you see,
quite nice out here.
good. You see anything interesting?
I'm not sure what would be of interest out here.
I mean,
Just
I have to
a lot of-
ask, from the other room, does RuPaul's Sissy That Walk just start blasting?
No, that kind of stuff's been playing for a while.
Okay, it's not suddenly. It's just it's been there the entire time. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be some drag queen, another, whether it's Bob or Adore or something. Alaska.
Calliope will walk over and hand Frisian a mug of coffee. I'm going to go take another shower and get ready for the day. And from there, we can figure out a plan of attack or whatever. At least get something rolling.
Yeah.
Oh, and she will pull open her phone and then sign up and make a Hulu subscription.
What was that?
But Calliope just set up a Hulu subscription. And she's going to take her coffee and head into the shower.
You get a shower. While that is happening, Frisian, what are you doing and what is Jackson doing?
Frisian, noticing what's on the TV, wants to ask Jackson about drag.
Okay.
Because Frisian has seen some shows from his time in the military of some of the soldiers dressing up.
All right, soldiers did do a lot of drag shows in World War II.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So first
If
thing
you
I'll
go in, if you go in, you will see right, is just in the process of zipping up. Basically, the dress that's in the or on the overlay. Oh, Frisia, how are you doing today?
not too bad. Calliope brought me some coffee.
Wonderful.
I wanted to ask, I know some of the other soldiers dressed up, but I don't know anything about it, and you said it was drag?
Drag, yes, it is. It is an art form. Um, it's different things for different people. Ultimately, it is for it's a opportunity to be a performer, be a singer, dancer, actress, what have you, or actor. Uh, Opportunity fuck with gender a little bit. It is a political statement. It's all of these things all wrapped up together in one. And much more beyond that. It is exploring who you are. It is having fun, being silly, being glamorous, uh, etc., etc., etc. Being able to stick it in the nose of people who don't understand why you're a man in a dress or a woman dressed up with as a man with fake beard and the like, or neither or both. You name it.
Interesting. I know I know the guys that did it, and when I was still in the military, they seemed like they were having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, it is a blast. It is for me. It is an opportunity to be be the person that I kind of always wanted to be. Um, and live the life that I think I've always wanted to have, but also to, I mean, there's nothing quite like being up on the stage and having an audience in the palm of your hand, fascinated with you in one way or another. And that's just a delight to me. I enjoy the I have a bit of a fascination with like old school Hollywood glam. And so that's where I tend to draw my inspiration from. I've had many people I've worked with or been mentored by and mentored who take it in very different directions. They will play it for comedy, or they will use it in ways to shock or make people think about what the prejudices are or how they view gender roles, that sort of thing. Um, I'm not sure, obviously, it's been a while. I'm not sure how many of my drag daughters and other people I've worked with are still in the air or still around at all. But it is an exciting and apparently burgeoning subculture and industry. Apparently, it's an industry now. So yeah,
Hmm. Well, thanks for informing me.
No problem. I'm always happy to help.
I
How are you
appreciate it.
doing?
Mm, Still a little shell shocked from being like I don't know this place very well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can understand that. I'm learning a lot has changed in the past 25 years. I can't imagine what it's like for you. And what did we determine? 70 some years?
Some like yeah,
I mean, the world
so
is still the world. I have to
just
assume that at least.
it's like there's trees and birds just
Yep.
as there were.
But even that's going to be kind of, I don't know about you. I don't know how long it was for you. But even that's sort of new again after how long it's been for me.
It I mean it's fairly new to me. Like when I think back, when I try to think back, um, like the landscape and the trees aren't familiar. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
familiar with the birds, so it is
I can imagine.
like I don't think I was from here because they don't seem familiar, even like vaguely.
Well, we can certainly try to find out. I'm sure there's. It sounds like we there's a whole society of people like us who have escaped. I'm sure they've got some way of finding out who we used to be if we don't remember, like in your case. Um, if you even want to, because that's something that you don't have to do if you don't want to. I've been thinking about it myself, and I mean, I don't think I can't not reconnect, but as long as it's been, there's very much a chance for us to essentially start afresh. And now that we're free of them, you get to choose whatever you want now.
It's like we can
So
live our lives.
hopefully, anyway, I guess are we gonna head to the freehold? I guess is what they called it today.
It seems like a good idea.
I
Calliope went and was going to take another shower, and then I suppose we can decide to get if we're gonna head there.
absolutely. Do you want anything to eat? You're probably gonna have to eat again. I know that wasn't so
Some
much of a concern for you back there, but
food would probably be good.
all right. Surprisingly, much like all of my equipment has apparently been upgraded over the years, or reality has. I don't get how that works. I'm trying not to think about that too much. Um. Apparently, much like that, the food has not spoiled. So I will go see what I can make us. And yeah, he's going to the kitchen to start making breakfast.
A few minutes later, Calliope, are you a fast or long shower kind of person?
Um, she took a very long one last night, so this is probably fairly quick. She doesn't have to cry in this one.
Fair.
So you make your way. So a few minutes pass after that conversation before Calliope returns to out of the bathroom, out of taking a shower. To the sound of, I'm assuming, like a frying pan on a grill, or like
Yep, absolutely. It is a full classic breakfast. Egg, sausage, pancake, etc. Not even looking up. Feeling a little bit more awake.
I am. Hot shower always woke me up.
Excellent. How do you like your eggs?
Scrambled.
All right. Frisian
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, go
on. She'll just sit down at the table and. So what's the? Well, I assume the two of you talked while I was in the shower. What was the plan?
So we were thinking about that and what to do. I think probably go to this Freehold thing. See what's going on there, get some connection, get some sort of understanding of the world that we're in now. Because I have to imagine even for you, it hasn't been all that long. Just being who we are in this world now, it's going to be different. So we have to figure out how to navigate that. And then from there, what do we want to do?
She will look down at that ring on her finger.
Fair enough.
I don't even know where to begin looking.
Like I was saying the first thing, I'm certain that, well, I would imagine at least that there would be others who have gone through what we've gone through, and they might have some ideas of how we can start to put back the memories and put back the pieces, reconnect if we want to.
Calliope, as you're talking and having this conversation, the TV has been on the entire time and is sort of quietly playing things. And you catch a flash of red and blue in your eye, and you immediately, your head just jerks to it, and you realize it's just an advertisement, but something about that clash of red and blue, those specific shades of sort of bright red tapering off into sort of a pale blue caught your attention for a reason that you don't know why.
So there will be that quick snap, and then.
You all right?
I don't know. It's like I'm getting. It's like I'm getting bits and pieces, but nothing's making sense.
Take a breath. Take it as just take it as they come. As we start to anything solid, anything we can use on one of those, well, on a search or anything?
Just the color red and blue. Nothing. Nothing tangible.
Well, that's frustratingly common.
And I should point out, it's a very specific shade. It's not like just any red and blue. It is very specifically this sort of bright, strong crimson that clashes with this sort of sky, almost teal blue.
She will start looking up those two colors so that she can show specifically to Jackson Frisian what her brain focused in on. I'm not entirely sure what the colors mean, but I think they're significant.
We know you're from around here, so we'll just have to keep an eye out for that. It's a start.
It's something.
Exactly. Every piece of information is good.
What about you, Jackson? You still got any? Do you have any leads from?
For me,
Yeah.
I have not started searching. If I did, they wouldn't be here here in Williamsburg. It'd probably be in Knoxville. I had quite the drag family there. Couple of them had moved away over time. Some had passed on before I went. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna rectify that situation. Cause I mean it has been 25 years and I have not physically changed to their eyes, I assume. So we will see how that goes. But it is absolutely something that I'm planning to locate. Anyway, eat up. We've got a bit of a suppose we can what was that thing we did last night?
Uber.
Yes, that. So as we can do that to Dollywood.
Yeah, and it did strike each of you as an adjustment when you looked in a mirror for the first time and saw your face as you remembered it superimposed like a lenticular with the true mean underneath as you sort of look at it from different angles and see what is beneath and what is above. But you all have your breakfast and presumably take an Uber to Dollywood. So
absolutely.
It's not a long drive. As you make your way there, you begin to the Uber drops you off, and you find yourself outside the walk-in gate to the Dollywood amusement park, and you can see there's plenty of people. It's a pretty solid crowd going in and out of the place at the moment. The entire atmosphere is festive. This seemed like it's an amusement park. What else would you expect out of it? But
Right.
there is like this place seems immaculately upkept. Even to like those of you who have been to amusement parks before, there's always that like air of this place is meant to be fun, but there's always that carny disrepair off to one side sort of atmosphere. This place is immaculate. Uh, like everything is kept in extremely good repair. The workers here seem to like their jobs, which is a rarity for a lot of like theme parks and amusement parks. And the entire environment is the Dolly Parton theme is like plastered over a lot of it, but it definitely seems to just generally be like a southern general amusement park. There are butterfly themes all over the place with Dolly Parton symbols everywhere, but there's a lot of just like traditional like down home south flavor and a lot of like general amusement park theme. But after a few minutes, you walk up to the ticket booth and presumably Calliope, you just get 3 tickets for the 3 of you.
She will think and then just shell out the money for 3 season passes.
So each of you get the season pass that will permit regular entrance into the park without any issue.
That's right. You have money.
Somehow.
Another piece of the puzzle.
But you all make your way through, and the festivity is honestly energizing as you look around and see people celebrating and amusing themselves and just having a grand old time and people around. I would like each of you for the first time that I'm asking for a group roll in the entirety of this game to give me a I forget what the ambient roll is for this. 1 second. Anything to Lost. There's like a generic harvesting roll. What is it? Lammer, tell me.
Oh, crap. Wrong.
As I try and remember what the thing is.
Hold on here. Let me see if I can index harvesting. Let's try glamour. No, 3. Relevant attribute plus skill is the only one they have.
Hang on a second.
At least in the harvesting glamour section. Oh wait, reaping. No, that's bad.
That's a bad thing. Here we go. I will say, just all of you go ahead and roll me wits and composure.
Okay.
Okay. Since this is my first time of doing this, how do I set up this roll?
So you
Okay,
click
so
on the you click on the words for wits and composure. Up in the upper right hand corner where it has the dice and the various options, you'll know it's the bottom left box up there says wits plus composure. Like
you
if
want to
you
select
click
a
on the names of
roll and a
skills,
normal.
you'll see where it changes. And then in the bottom right hand, you want it to be normal. There are options there for rolling 9 again, 10 again, chance, etc. And then once you have wits and composure in the bottom left box, normal in the right, you just click the die.
Okay.
And then you can add modifiers.
William,
That tracks.
do I need to make this roll?
Nah,
Okay.
you're already inside. You've already sort of experienced a little bit of this.
Okay.
Yeah. Brazilian, you got okay. So while the group of you are sort of taking this in, Calliope and Frisian just instinctually, the two of you take in 2 and 3 glamour respectively, just from the ambient high energy of the people around you. Just the entertainment, the joy, the happiness is just bleeding off of these people. Jackson, you're a little too focused and a little too out of your depth right now to really sort of just take all this in, and so you sort of miss that opportunity.
Cool.
But the other two of you sort of experience what it is to just sort of ambiently draw in glamour when it is in a place that is so overflowing with it as it is right now. But you pass through and you make your way over to a section of the park that is less traveled. It's not to say that it's less upkept, because everything here still looks very good. Everything here is still very, very nicely maintained and upkept. But as you come across, you find a single lone building that is largely unadorned and has like signs over most of the walls and doors that just say closed for renovation, coming soon, etc., etc., etc. And it is in the location in the park that you were designated to head to by Matchstick previously. And you were, as a reminder, told to knock twice and say that you're here for the biannual meeting.
All right. Well, no time like the present, and I will walk up and do exactly that.
Yep. And you
knock,
hear
knock,
you hear,
knock.
Yeah. So you knock and you a voice, a gruff voice, answers on the other side. Place is closed for renovations.
Hello, darling. We are here for the biannual meeting.
Right, of course. All right, go ahead and come on in. And you hear a door unlocking and a knob twisting, and the door opens. And standing in front of you as the door opens is one of the largest figures that you've ever seen, as this towering ogre who looks to be 2 doors broad in a 1-door building. Is sort of looking down, and you can see he's got these massive incisors that sort of jut out from his lower lip, and like a pair of curling horns that sort of reach back over his head, dressed in like the best fitting suit that he could probably get onto himself. It still looks like he is about to burst out of the buttons in a lot of places, just from sheer mass of both fat and muscle. As this boulder of a man sort of looks across the group of you, and he's got these tiny square glasses on his eyes, and he looks at the group of you. You look like newcomers.
Well, good evening to good morning, I suppose, to you.
Well, welcome to the Commons. Most people here call me Slabjaw, but welcome in, and you are welcome to have a seat, look around, meet everybody. Newcomers are always welcome. Got another one who's sort of looking around, getting their bearings of things. Feel free. There's if you've already figured out which of the seasons you align with, there are sections for people to meet other people like them. There's also a common area for anybody who just wants to hear the news, chat, have a conversation. Please go
Of
ahead and come
course.
on through, he says as he leans off to the side and
Thank
makes
you,
room for
sweetie.
you.
I'm sorry, was it Slabjaw?
Labjaw is what most people call me.
Slabjaw. Delighted. I will make my way, shimmy inside.
You make your way through.
Yep.
Each of you makes your way in, and as you enter, you see that this area is wide and open and bigger on the inside than the exterior building surmised. And it is divided into roughly 5 areas. There are each of the 4 corners has like a large area that is generally decorated with a seasonal theme. There is an autumnal area that has sort of browning leaves and vines sort of draping around as decoration with like fake spider webs and generally Halloweenish and generally autumnal vibe. There's a lot of reds and oranges and a lot of um like dark colored tables and sparse seating arrangement for people to sort of spread out. There's one that is like mostly white and barren with sort of like very Spartan decoration, and generally has like hanging curtains to provide privacy for quiet conversations. There is one that has a sort of very large open floor plan with a lot of like bench seating for people to have big open conversations and just sort of mingle. There's a lot of flowers, like freshly blooming flowers placed all over that region. And there's another one that looks more like looks almost like a military like a war room almost, but like spread across an entire section of this building where there's like very regimented or like organized table spacing, lots of like warm firelight and like hanging lanterns and lamps, lots of like solid greens and reds. And then in the center of this, there is like a thrust stage that reaches out from one wall and like spreads out into the middle. And a just big open seating area with like benches and chairs and tables just spread out that sort of takes up the entire like 10 to 20 foot circular region in the center of this massive meeting area. And there are a variety of individuals here. You see a couple dozen people that are here right now, sort of spread out across all of this region. And as you enter and look around, the camera shifts to one of the people who's already here. Joe, as you're sort of finding your bearings, you hear the door open, and the wind sort of carries a whisper to you, and the inclination of new people, the people that you've had very light conversations with others around here, not really gotten too many names, but someone mentioned as news travels fast that other new people had arrived last night, and that they seemed even more lost than you are. And that had sort of caught your interest, and you hear sort of a whisper on the wind of they're here almost as you sort of look over and you see these 3 individuals entering. Let's get a brief description for Katie of what your characters look like, especially because I'm fairly certain this look is new to everyone else as well. Jackson, what do you look like right now?
So Jackson, who goes by Marlena in drag, is comes across. She is very much what the common term is fishy. In terms of in drag, she passes very well. She is tall, fairly statuesque, wearing a red sort of. I would say fabric is something akin to silk. A wraparound dress, heels. Uh, you look close enough, probably tell some telltale signs that it's actually someone in drag. I don't remember what my goddamn wig looks like. As I load up my Hero Forge, as opposed to just opening Twitch because that would be too easy.
Or your character sheet's bio page.
Or
Why would you do that?
Shut up. I don't know what you're talking about. I definitely did not put that on my bio page. I did. Like a strawberry red, short, again, classic Hollywood kind of nut shoulder length, like up in a bun kind of thing. There with a clutch, definitely. And sort of standing in the front of this group, as far as like she is in the position of, if anything unexpected comes, she is ready to smack them down, smack whatever it is down. And she's just sort of looking over the place, taking it all in.
And in that sort of lenticular approach, what does it look like underneath the mask?
Oh yes, underneath the mask is quite so. The basic features are the same, except for the cheekbones have risen up a little bit and become much sharper cheekbones, narrower face. The hair is about back length, that has sort of a almost a neonish green to the back of it, and reddish on the what I like to call the rogue streaks.
Yeah, those are the two streaks of hair in the front. Yeah.
Ponytails has very much an elven look to them. And then slitted eyes with these sort of very wide irises that are brown, or that are blue. Sorry, it's very clear, or vibrant blue, with sort of the whites or blacks, and just sort of a very composed air to them.
And then Calliope.
Calliope in her mask is fairly thin and lithe, sort of on the shorter side, not too short, like 5'3". Deep purple hair and bright green eyes. She's currently wearing she's not wearing what she has on in her mini, but she's wearing a very toned down dress. Probably something in the pink variety. A wedding ring with a rather large diamond on her left hand, and very simple flats. Underneath, however, in very also septum piercing and 2 earrings. A very different picture underneath, a swirling mass of chaos and color. Calliope's skin constantly is shifting. Her eyes are flashing in different colors, as she is just a swirling vortex of rainbow and darkness, and her hair always sort of seems to flow like water. And underneath, in stark contrast to her bright and shiny form, she's wearing very Tim Burton-esque white and black striped clothing. Knee high heels or knee high boots with just black and chrome. That wedding ring still very prominent on her hand, and of course the piercings still remaining.
And then Frisian.
Frisian's mask is a fairly standard white male with short cropped brown hair, dressed simply in jeans and a t-shirt. It's probably the most boring clothes that were at Jackson's out of all of the possibilities. But under the mask, you see a much thinner guy with not long hair, but the hair just keeps going down the back of his head and onto his shoulders, with more pointed ears and an almost stone-like complexion.
So these are the three people that you see entering, Joe,
Okay.
as you sort of hear their presence announced by the wind.
Okay.
Oh my. This is something.
It
was
a lot
definitely-
bigger than I thought.
Yes, it was definitely. What's the term they use? Big on the inside.
I believe the
Huh.
term you're looking for is it's bigger on the inside.
Yes, yes, that would be the one. Hello.
Hi.
And so you three are greeted by Joe. What does Joe look like?
Joe in her mask has dirty blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, overalls, black and white striped shirt, pale skin, average height, blue eyes. Underneath, she has ice blue, almost translucent skin. Very almost glowing blue eyes. And the rest of her, it looks whitish, grayish, but it never looks solid. So that's who she is underneath the mask.
Why, hello.
Hi.
Are you part of the welcome wagon here?
I don't think I wouldn't describe myself as such, but you're. I mean, I haven't been here very long, so I don't know if I'd be very welcoming.
I mean, that's all. Being welcoming is a state of mind, not a role.
Uh,
Hello, sweetie. My name is Marlena.
I'm Joe.
Joe, pleasure to meet you. This is
So that I don't get my games mixed up. Did anyone here have a particular veil or line against spiders?
Nope.
No.
Okay, just making sure because I know that one of my games did and another one didn't. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Marlena. This is Clappy, and this is Frisian.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice that there's some fellow new people around here.
Yes, we just got out last night,
Oh wow.
so we are getting our bounds, as they say, getting our bearings.
Getting your bearings.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Well,
How long
here's
have
a
you?
whole group of newcomers. Welcome to the Freehold, and to the Commons comes a voice from above, as descending down what can only be described as a spider web made of very well spun rope that looks like it might not actually be rope. is an individual who appears to have been decorating the ceiling. As descending is a pale individual with long black hair that sort of drapes to about mid back. She has 4 arms that sort of emerge from her torso and help her sort of climb down this elongated rope. Her eyes are black, completely colorless pits, and she moves with an unearthly grace as she sort of descends this long rope with seemingly little effort whatsoever. As she slides down and sort of hangs at about eye level with everyone. Her head is about at head height with everyone else, but upside down. Her hair sort of almost draping, almost scraping the floor. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Good evening, afternoon,
Hello.
morning,
My
whatever.
name. Most people call me Chelsea Spinner,
Chelsea.
and I am one of the keepers of the commons. It's our job to keep this place nice and upkept and welcoming to the changelings who wish to enter, and as such, we act as sort of the welcome wagon, as you put it. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Chelsea. I'm sure this will not be surprising to you, but we're not really sure what to do from here.
Well, I imagine some of you are still figuring yourselves out, but I can sense that some of your dispositions might have already aligned with some of the courts. In other freeholds, that's a very strong political position, something people enter into. But here, it's just a loose arrangement of how people view the world. If you'd like, you might be able to meet some people who think like you if you wanted to hang around some of the court's common areas, as we tend to refer to them. Or you could wander around and meet some people who feel differently than you, seeing them in the courts, or maybe you have something you're looking for, in which case someone might be able to. But as learning, as a lesson to all of you who are new to the world that we live in now and the society that we operate in, everyone here has had things taken from them by force, as you are all quite familiar with. And so most people are hesitant to give things away for free. Be ready, should you wish to ask for anything, to make a deal, strike a bargain for anything and everything that you might wish to get. And we
I
are
see.
changelings. We are unique. The magic of the other side flows in us. These bargains can be made for things more than simple physical requirements, and the deals can be much more binding than a letter and ink contract.
I see. That is excellent advice and excellent warning. I appreciate that.
Depending on what you're looking for, each of the 4 courts specializes in certain assistance. The Winter Court is quite good at gathering information. The people there might be able to find things or people info that you might be looking for. The Summer Court is quite good at lending a helping hand physically if you need bodies or muscle or things gathered. The Spring Court knows people, can make connections if you need to get in somewhere, if you need to know or make friends with people. And the Autumn Court, they're good at making an impression and finding things if you need to get something you don't have or need to get a pointed message across. Obviously, everyone is different, but you can generally look to the courts for any of those services if you need them. Someone will be able to help you with it.
Duly noted.
But Calliope is staring intently at her.
Frisian's
looks at
also
you and
just
sort of-
staring at her.
In the lenticular across, as you see her mask sort of fold over her mien, you see an elegant acrobat. The forearms become two as her hair changes from black to bright platinum blonde. The eyes go from black to a simple blue. As her skin goes from abnormally pale to simply white, like the peach color of a typical Caucasian. And you see that she seems to be dressed in what appears to be an acrobat's leotard. And it seems to be just sort of hanging from a traditional rope, as the mask would see it. And then that sort of fades again, and you see the spider-like aspect to her once more. Can I help you at all, miss? She says, looking at Calliope. I was looking at her.
Sorry. We're. I should say I can't speak for the rest of my group here, but I'm looking for one thing in particular, and you said a couple of things that have definitely got my interest.
You're always welcome to ask around. I myself, as one of the keepers of the commons hail from every court. It's something of a theme. Our motley is designed by nature to include people of each court who happen to get along. I hail from winter, if you might not have been able to guess by my frosty disposition, she says with a cold smile.
That explains that. Thank you, darling.
Motley?
Ah, yes, another term that you might need to know. Motleys. They are loose groupings of changelings, those who make a pact to protect themselves above all else, or to work together in times of hardship. A small found family of individuals looking to take care of each other and see themselves through hardship. My motley, we are known as the Keepers, and we keep the commons. Not every motley has a fancy name, but most like to identify themselves by some title. Maybe it's the place they live, maybe it's a moniker, maybe it's something someone thought was funny. But they make one of those oaths I was talking about, one of those promises to be there for each other, binding it in the weird so that their magic helps them in times of need and pushes them to work together and assist each other.
Talking about it's a family.
Something like that, yeah. Yes.
That I understand.
The family with magical benefits. One of the few
I mean,
things that helps us get a leg up.
all families have magical benefits or drawbacks. It's just these are more magical.
She
Less
smiles.
metaphorically magical, shall we
Yes.
say.
Although metaphor is still a very important thing as far as changelings are concerned. We were made out of fairy tale creatures, after all.
I suppose that's a fair point. Well, look back at Calliope and Frisian. What do you think?
If the group of you think you'd like to form yourselves into a motley and you're not sure how, it often comes instinctually to people, but if you need some assistance, I can walk you through the process of making this promise.
I mean, That's definitely one thing. I was just more thinking in general, but also that.
I think the idea is I'm open to the idea of Motley. As for everything else, it's a little much. I do think I want to take a gander at some of the court stuff. And then from there, I don't know.
Like being a motley sounds like a fair idea, but also and turns away from the others to our greeter here. It's like, how does one tell what court they belong to?
It's something you'll get a sense for as you acclimate. But most people have a feeling about them, something that evokes one of the four seasons. You might have noted that I'm a little bit chilly, as people might say. And you do feel like the temperature just drops when you're in her vicinity. It's something that comes naturally. The more you cement yourself into the feelings and aspects of your court, the more it shows in your mien. The term we use for the true self, the thing that you are beneath the mask that you wear. The stronger your affiliation is with the season that you call your home, the more it reflects around you and in your true mien. But even in the most subtle of ways, you might sense it on the wind, smell it in the scents around you. It depends, and it can change over time, just like people can change over time. But you may have noticed some things about yourself that lean in the direction of a certain season, and you may have noticed some things about your friends, or you may have not. Sometimes it's subtle.
Hmm.
Oh, I can say without even guessing that I will most certainly be going to uh, uh, the 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 April showers and May flowers side of the courts.
Yes, you did strike me as a spring courtier. You'll find that aside from just an affiliation for a season, the courts often reflect the way a changeling handles dealing with the world around them. And maybe you'll learn what that means as time goes on.
Fair enough.
Calliope will look to Joe. Have you made a decision on that?
Mhm. I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm on since the month.
Quite all right, Joe.
I'm a bit.
Joe, correct?
Yes.
Take a breath.
I'm a bit. That's funny. Um.
I'm about to drop out of this. Oh, no, never mind. It worked. It worked perfectly. Never mind. I didn't have to. I managed to fix it.
I. I mean, this is all still very new to me, and my memories are still very fresh. And I'm also going to be honest with you. I've this whole change, transformation, whatever you call it, has left me quite bitter.
With good reason.
Sweetie, you don't even know the half of it.
Is it something that you would be willing to discuss, or is that too soon in our association?
Well, I mean, I could tell you, it might scare you off.
Sweetie, I don't think right now, to give you a little bit of perspective, one of us has been standing in a single spot for possibly as long as 79 years. Um, one of us was similarly inanimate, and one of us, well, there's no other way to put it, is man in a dress standing right here. So I don't think there's much you can say that's going to freak us out too much.
Oh, it's not about the freaking out. It's
You aren't ready. We aren't gonna push.
No,
no,
you
I
take your time.
I need to talk to somebody, or I feel like I'm just gonna be a loner sitting in the corner booth for the rest of my time. I come from 2024.
Fair enough.
I said just got here. I was worked in a bookstore. I've always kind of been a dream of mine for a long time. Voracious reader and all that. Grew up in the area. The very cliche met with a boy, came from old money. I mean, look at me, I don't. On a wild hair, we eloped to Gatlinburg, and his family found out. And it wasn't 24 hours after I made my vows that I was taken. I don't even know what happened, to be quite honest with you. I don't even know if anybody in the room that was with me is still around. But the cruelness of being a wind elemental, taking a vow to have and to hold, and to build a new life together. I can't stay in one place. I can't hold on to anything. I can't build anything. I can only destroy.
Wow. One small bit of comfort from one being of tortured existence to another, says Chelsea. What you were in your endurance and what you could do there, only destroy, only keep moving, only has so much bearing on what you can do now that you're here. If you wanted to take up roots and settle down, it might be a challenge, but you can.
I don't think I've grown quite accustomed to what this life is yet.
It
Like
takes
I
many a
said.
long time.
I'm very new and I'm very bitter.
Oh, and I don't mean to sound presumptuous here, and I may be speaking out of turn with my colleagues here, but bitter and newly out is kind of our aesthetic at the moment. Um, and I can't help it. I see somebody who needs help, and I am more than happy to try and help them. So, as far as I'm concerned, you are welcome.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry if I don't seem as eager to make new bonds yet.
No, no, you take your time. That is fully understandable. Like we have not talked about it yet. So Freezing and Calliope may have different mindsets, although the current comments suggest otherwise. Um, we are all just adjusting. And it'll take some time. In the meantime, I do have one very important question. Can you hold a drink?
Better than anybody I know.
Wonderful. We are going to need drinks. We are going to need lots of drinks. And since we do not have a car and we do this Uber thing, we can do it safely. So let's go find a table and let's converse.
I think that's the best offer I've had in all night. That is to say, the only one.
I'll take it.
You
If you're
three.
looking for drinks, you'll find Liquacious somewhere around here.
Loquacious?
Liquacious, like liquor.
Liquacious. Okay.
Is this a person
Y'all got name
who's
tags or
made of
something?
alcohol?
Or, like,
Oh, he is a fantastic elemental, yes.
Oh dear.
uh-oh.
I'm sorry, there are too many jokes flying through my head right now. I cannot. If I start, I will never stop. So let's just go find. There came another joke after saying that. We need to go find him now before I start. I start acting a fool.
Start to?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Sorry if that was out of turn. I'm trying to find humor. I'm not always
No,
very
no. Sweetie, that is my sense of humor. As long as you're willing to take, as long as you're willing to have it volleyed right back at you from time to time, we are going to get along lovely.
have a what? I apologize. I didn't
As
quite
long as
catch
you're
that.
willing to have that volleyed back at you from time to time, and by time to time, I mean a lot, we are going to get along lovely.
I like to think I can.
Delightful.
And as you look down into that sort of common area in between all four of the other seasonal gatherings, there does appear to be a bar table sort of set off to one side.
Clappy Frizzy, I don't know if you want to go check with any of the courts first, but we will hold down a table for you if you want to go explore a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, go find a table.
Well, do you head up to the bar to get a drink first?
Yes.
Yeah. So you step up to the bar, and there you meet Liquacious, who you see dressed in like the a very like the very like dapper showman-esque with the sort of like black slacks with the blue button-up shirt with sleeves like rolled up to the upper arm with a black vest, no tie, just the top couple of buttons undone. An individual who in the mask appears to just sort of be like well tanned and has like a short crop of like wavy brown hair, but actually wavy white hair. It's gone completely white. But underneath, in the mean, you see that the very tan skin is actually a like thinly cohered shape that is made entirely of what appears to be beer. And the white hair appears to be the head of the beverage, as his hair appears to be the froth of a foaming beverage. Um, his body moves with this sort of liquid grace, but somehow sort of keeps a generally humanoid form to it, as he sort of dramatically tosses and churns a drink in his hands as he sort of throws it through the air, and it seems to like arc as if moving on its own as he tosses it up, and sort of seems to have a moderate degree of control over it as he just sort of finesses this drink that he's mixing. And as you walk up to the table, he sort of flips it up and it spins a few times, catches it, sets it back down. Well, welcome to the bar. What can I get you today?
Oh my, I have found something far better than a cold drink of water. Um, Hello, sweetie. That depends. What are you offering?
Just about anything that your
And
heart
you
can
can
desire.
take that any way you like.
Well, aren't you a saucy one? Well, I can get you just about any drink that you favor. Uh, First one's on the house. If you want anything more than that, we'll talk usually regular money, but if you want something really special or hard to get, we might have to talk some favors or glamour.
Joe, are you drinking?
Something very, very strong.
You want a little bit of you want some fruit to bite back the alcohol, or you just want a straight up shot of vodka?
Little fruit, heavy on the vodka.
Moscow Mule or Screwdriver?
Screwdriver.
All right. And he immediately begins to, as you see, like the liquid arms just sort of flow back behind him and grab a couple of bottles and a glass and sort of bring it back around in this one fluid motion as he begins to perfectly mix, as is his talent, the amount of orange juice and vodka required for a screwdriver, and sort of slides it across the table to you. And what can I get you, madam?
How about an old fashioned if you could?
Coming right up.
Thank
And
you.
I have heard the name old fashioned several times, but I do not actually know what goes into it, but he mixes it perfectly.
Yeah, it is a whole thing. Like it is a whole production. It's whiskey, bitters, sugar cube, orange. Like it's a thing.
And every step is done with an amount of flair, as he seems to have a preternatural control not only over his body but also the liquid that he is mixing.
A drink and a show. How perfect.
I am nothing if not a showman, a spring court member of the Keepers.
Fair enough.
Pretty neat trick. How long did that take you?
Oh, I picked it up fairly quickly, coming out of my time. Not a thing that it just takes a little bit of practice, considering what I am and how I work.
Understandable.
And forgive me, I'm new here. What are you exactly?
Well, most folk who like to try and identify the taxonomy of the folk like us would call me an elemental. Sort of the folk that are made out of something entirely something primal, in my case, beer.
Of course.
Gotcha. Apparently that's what I've got. Not beer, I'm wind.
Yep, I thought I saw that on you.
Yeah, still learning the ropes, the terminology. I only need an app or something.
I'm fairly certain somebody in Winter's probably put one together.
I'm sorry. And then, oh, right. Clappy mentioned those. A thing on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Ah, you're from a little farther back, ain't you?
And 1999, thank you. Or 80, 98, 98, 99,
Oh.
98, 99,
A young spring chicken, huh?
98. That is the first time someone has called me young in a long time. So I like you even better now.
Well, I myself come from the 1920s and the age of early radio.
Ah, that is fair.
That's where the showmanship comes from.
Just a little bit. They called it the Roaring 20s for a reason.
Good. We have someone who makes even Frizzing seem like a youngster in comparison. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we will be back for more.
Always happy to help out.
Go find a table and hold it down.
That's not exactly my expertise.
Fair.
Specifically, he is an elemental absinthal.
It's
That's fantastic.
it's amazing.
Also, I'm very angry. I never thought of the idea of an alcohol elemental for character because I know what Marlena would have been. Say that one for later.
Oh my god.
But yeah. Find somewhere, take a seat, and start chat.
So,
So joking about it's one of the steps to recovery, right?
For a lot of people, yes, it is. You are not the first person I have known to use humor as coping. It's much healthier than my version.
Which is
Emotionally withdraw and hide away.
I mean, there's a fair bit of that too.
That's not surprising.
So, Frisian and Calliope, what are you up to?
Brizian is probably gonna find go by like the courts. Particularly I believe it was said Autumn's good at like connecting and like getting stuff.
Yeah, Autumn's quite good at finding things and sending a message, as was put across.
So yeah. And then probably start there.
All right. As you sort of walk into that region, and one of the first things you see, there's like 5 or 6 people in the autumn court region right now. Most of them are sort of having conversations with a couple of the others, but one of them appears to be sort of manning a what looks like a desk of some kind, and he has this sort of air of a goat individual. Like he seems to be sort of dressed up in like a finely tailored suit, but his face is elongated like it's a goat's head. And he has the sort of like those weird like eyes that are made out of like a sideways sort of drawn out rectangle. And like a long pointed tuft beard and a pair of curling horns off the side of his head. And his hair is sort of this like deep black, sort of reaches to about mid shoulder. And he sort of seems to be sitting at the table, sort of poring over what appears to be like a notebook or a journal as he sort of just waits for anyone to come up and ask him about anything.
Frisian will walk up to the desk and wait for him to be finished.
And sort of as you walk up, he sort of looks up for a second, puts the book down. Well, how can I help you?
I was told that the Autumn Court's good at finding things.
That's certainly a thing that we're capable of doing. What kind of thing are you looking for in general? You can call me Billy Gruff, and I am one of the people who helps run the commons around here.
Billy Graff. All right. I got two things on my mind. I just got back from quite a while ago, and been told that there's been like new vaccines made.
Yes, the advancements of medication and vaccination have been quite persistent.
And my parents always taught me like keeping up with that's always for in your best interest of yourself and others around you.
So you're looking to get your medical records updated.
Yes.
I think we can arrange that. We do have a selection of changeling doctors who specialize in treating those of us who exist around here. It's hard to go to a regular human doctor, and start asking questions about why your physiology doesn't make any goddamn sense.
And I'm sure I don't have my medical records from 70 plus years ago either.
That'd be for damn sure. Yeah, we can help get connected with some changeling doctors if you need some assistance there.
That would be fantastic. The other thing on my mind is I'm not familiar with the area, and I'd like to find like a some maps of like here in Williamsburg and like the general vicinity.
Well, if you're familiar with technology, your cell phone or smartphone, if you happen to have one on you, functions very well as a easily accessible map. Google likes to keep satellite maps of the whole world nowadays, but if you're more of an analog kind of person, we can have some full-size maps made out for you.
I'm not familiar with modern technology.
I sort of figured based on when you said you were from and figuring about the fact that you're relatively new around. So yeah, we can get a couple of full-size maps made out for you. That's a simple process, don't need nothing in the way of a fee. If you're in need of money, I also happen to operate the Commons branch of the Freehold banking.
I'm sure money will come in handy at some point. So I'll have to keep that one in mind.
Well, while you're considering, I'll get some maps drawn up for you, and I'll see if I can get the name and number of some good changeling doctors to get you in contact with. Feel free to keep having a look around.
It's much appreciated.
He sort of opens a drawer and pulls out a flip book and starts rifling through notes and starts flipping through contact information. Meanwhile, Calliope, what are you up to?
Calliope would have been drawn to Springcourt. So she probably would have gone over that way, but she's still definitely like there's that flashing beacon in the back of her mind of we need to ask questions about this one thing, and she's very much trying to focus on figure out everything else about like right now, and then we can focus on that. But she definitely wants to get the names of some people that could start pointing her in the right direction or start helping her find whoever this ring is attached to.
So you head into the spring court area. This one is more heavily populated than the other three. It sort of is the rite of spring as the people who are socializers. There's about 10 to 15 people here, all sort of. It's a very communal area. The area is wide open for anyone who wants to theater in the round style. Sort of there's seats all sort of around the outside for people to have conversations, but also just a big open central area for any kind of presentation or stage event. And sort of sitting on one of the lower front end seats, as it does sort of rise as the seats go to the back, so that everyone's got a view, like literally as you would a theater. The sitting on the front row on this sort of circular position is an individual who looks like poison ivy if she was more made of a flower. There is a woman with sort of long, flowing, bright pinkish red hair that sort of has like individual flowers budding out of it. Her face is sort of this long, slender, tapered thing, and her eyes are these sort of like pollenish yellow. And her skin is a sort of like vibrant green. And she is dressed in an outfit that looks to the mask like a floral pattern dress, but in the mean is literally a dress made of flowers and plants.
Nice.
And in the mask, her skin tone is more of like a light like a lighter brown tone, and her hair is this sort of like dyed pink coloration. Um, and as you approach, she sort of looks up from the conversation she's having. Ah, you must be the newcomers that everybody's been talking about. About one of them, anyway.
Yeah, name's Calliope. Sorry, it's a lot.
Well, if you need a name, for starters, you can call me Briar Rose.
Rose.
Well, welcome to the spring court side of things. We were just having conversations about the local news and the happenings that have been going on. You know, who's who, who's done what, what's been going on, all sorts of friendly gossip. But you're sort of the talk of the town as the newest group of people to show up, and in a batch of three, no less.
She'll kind of do that, the shy stance where you've got one arm down and the other across. Yeah, we all came out late last night, and the other two are having a lot harder of time getting the bearings. But I think I might be getting a little. I'm getting flashes and bits and pieces. I might be getting back to. I guess normal's not a word that we like to use around here, is it?
Normal's a thing that doesn't exist around here. But you're acclimating, getting a handle on things.
I'm doing my best. I still have a lot of questions, but I am here on very specific business, I suppose you could say. Well, I do. I think I might spend a lot of my time here in the spring court, but I'm looking for somebody.
Well, already just less than a day out of the hedge, and you've already got a mission. Well, if you need to find people, us in winter can't do better than us.
I don't have. I've got nothing to go on.
Well,
That's
tell me what you do
that.
know, and I might be able to provide a little bit of information to help.
She will show off the ring.
Ooh, married.
Apparently,
Think you got kids?
I don't. I don't know.
Well, that kind of hesitation tells me that there's a possibility at the very least. And I only ask because, well, Dolly World outside is having a kids' day today, starting in about an hour. So, single parent trying to take care of kids. There's every opportunity if they live around here somewhere, they might want to bring their kids in to see a theme park for the day, sort of have some fun, get their minds off their potentially missing loved one.
I don't know how much they're gonna miss me. I've been gone for at least 4 years.
Oh, if it's only 4 years, they're going to miss you a hell of a lot. Absence only makes the heart grow fonder, and unless you left a fetch behind and they didn't, nothing, and none the wiser, then they're probably devastated, and that's a horrible state to be in.
I don't. I'm not sure if there is a fetch or not, but what I can tell you is I had a weird experience this morning. We were talking and the TV was going. There was this bright flash of crimson followed by sky blue, and couldn't couldn't take my eyes off of it. I there's something about it. I don't know what it is.
Well, it sounds like your missing person, or at least something important about them, has something to do with that color combination if it caused that kind of reaction to you. There's a couple of ways that you can, at least for today, try and approach this. You might be able to, like I said, if they have kids and they want to bring them around here, you might wander around outside and maybe see if you spot anything of that color combination that catches your eye and your interest. Uh, of course, if you wanted to learn more without just having to dig, and you were feeling adventurous, like going back into the hedge, you might hunt for your icon.
She'll sort of stiffen.
Now it's the hedge, darling, not Arcadia. It's dangerous, but it's not hell.
What's icon?
Every changeling who comes here through the thorns, one way or another, passes through the thorns, the hedge, the thing that separates our world from theirs. And the thorns don't take that passage without taking a price. They scrape something off on the way by. Part of you, memories, existence, essence of who you are. Those things take form in the hedge. We call them icons. If you can find them, they can be put back, returned to their proper place. With them comes memories, experiences, a bit of clarity on who you are, understanding. Some people lose themselves entirely hunting down their icons in the hedge and die out there. It's not a safe place, even if it isn't them. But for those that find them, Some people sell them if they can find them. Some people trade in them. Some people go hunting and try and find them for others. Some people find them for themselves just to remember what they lost. It becomes an obsession for some people and a valuable commodity for others. But it is a way to find out what you're missing without having to do exploring in the real. But it does mean exploring in the hedge. No one knows how many they have until they find them. You could have one, you could have a dozen, you could have 100. But each one you find will give you a little bit of your memories back. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But they're all part of you, waiting out there in the thorns. You might even find somebody else's, and that's something you can trade for a favor, or just give back if you're feeling nice. Now that'll get you some goodwill if you give somebody's icons back just out of the kindness of your heart.
You said the kids thing starts in about an hour.
About an hour, yeah.
And how long would this walkabout in the hedge take?
That depends on the hedge. Time is weird. I wouldn't recommend trying to do both in one day, but the hedge will always be there.
I think I'm going to take you up on the looking around thing.
Well, you're welcome to do that. And if you want any assistance, we're always available to barter for it if you need. But everybody has to make a deal around here. Everything comes with a price. We don't do too much for free. A little bit of advice, we can do that. But you want something tangible, you got to give something tangible.
That makes sense. So I don't know where to go from here. Not gonna lie.
Well, you came with a couple of friends. Maybe go see them and talk about what you learned, see what everybody else has figured out, and then figure out what you want to go from there.
Calliope's going to sort of get a look on her face like, why didn't I think of this to begin with? And then pull out her phone and then search through for her contact number.
Yeah, you find your phone number.
And she will just hold that out to Briar. Keep this.
She looks at it, pulls out her own smartphone, and just types it in. Done. If I need to call you, I know who to call.
Thank you.
And she offers out her own phone number to you as well, if you need to reach me.
Do the same thing. You around here often, or you just a once in a while?
Oh, I tend to be around the commons pretty regularly. Although, I do go out from time to time and just wander.
Good. I'll see you again then.
She offers a wave.
Then she will head to find the other three.
Frisian, would you also be reconvening after your conversation with Billy?
Yeah.
So as the group returns, as you all meet in the center around the table that Marlena and Joe are holding down, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Nope.
We take our break, you take your break, go ahead and stretch your legs, walk around, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Ah, we're back.
Well, that was quick. All right.
Yeah, I went to go. Sometimes I have an unfortunate situation where I leave the mouse pointer above the button that switches back and forth, and the mouse will turn off unless you click one of the buttons. And so, oops,
Well,
we're back.
then. So, we return as the group of you reconvene at the table that Marlena has sequestered for the group of you. So Frisian and Calliope both approach the table at roughly the same time, considering the length of the two conversations that they had. And you see that Marlena Marlena and Joe are sharing a couple of drinks.
Yep. Welcome back. How did things go?
Well, I didn't get concrete answers because that's not going to happen right away. But as her accent starts to shift a little further, what I can tell you is that we have a kids' day coming up
A kids' day.
in about 45 minutes, and I'm going to take a look around.
Fair enough.
To do what exactly, if you don't mind my asking?
Right, I can see how that might sound a little bit horrible without any sort of context. She will just sort of hold her left hand out to you, and there is a pale gold wedding band with a rather large chunk of diamond in the middle.
It's beautiful.
And it belongs to me, I suppose, but somebody I'm not aware of. So I want to find who it goes to and at least figure out something.
I can certainly relate to that. What does that have to do with the kids' day?
Right. I'm fairly certain I might have had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And Briar Rose, who so kindly introduced me to the spring court, told me that she had mentioned kids and asked if I had them because of the ring, and I couldn't answer. So she thinks it might be a yes because of hesitation. So she knows about as much as I do about my situation. So we're gonna try that. It can't hurt to look anyway. Yeah.
I understand. I think that's very brave of you, honestly.
Bravery is right next to stupid. But thank you.
You're talking about a girl who eloped with somebody from the other side of the tracks. They're stupids in my background.
Listen, if you are eloping and it's not from the wrong side of the traps, then why are you even eloping?
You have a
Like,
point.
at that point, you're just being dramatic for no reason. I'm not saying I don't mind. I don't enjoy a little bit of drama, but time and place.
And Joe will look at Calliope again and say, his name was James. We always talked about kids. Obviously, never got that chance. I hope you find some answers.
I hope you found peace.
Well, we'll see which way the wind blows.
I was about to apologize, but I think I'm going to let that one go.
Cut me a break. I've been very bitter, and trying to have a sense of humor is my only means from going totally mental.
If you can't joke about it, you're going to cry about it. I completely understand. So I get it.
So you are going out to check out Kids Day.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Rizine, what about you? How did your thing go, sweetheart?
Chatted with Billy something.
Billy Gruff.
Oh, Billy Gruff, yeah.
With a Billy Gruff. He's the keeper for the Autumn Court. And it went well. I wanted to see about getting those new vaccines Calliope talked about last night. And I'm also looking
fair.
to get looking at like maps of the area to have a better idea where things are.
Well, here, I mean, in Biddingford is a little more. But in general, especially where we're laying our head currently, there's not a ton. But it's good to have maps because it's till you get more familiar because it is very easy to get lost, lots of twisty roads. And trust me, you don't want to get lost down some of those.
I can vouch for that. And if I don't know how much help I'd be, but I grew up in the area, if that helps you any.
There is an almost crow-like croaking from one side as an individual begins to approach your table. You look over.
Hello.
And you see a person dressed in what can only be described as like old style battle armor. A feminine woman, apparently. It's as the mask sort of flickers and fades between the mask and the mien. You see that the armor looks like to the naked eye, to the unseeing eye, looks like sturdy workout gear, like a stiff tank top and boxing glove, MMA gloves, the kind that you use to pad but keep your fingers free, and braces and padding for MMA training. But underneath you see the form of armor, and an individual who on the mask is ghost pale, and black haired to about mid back, and underneath with deep green eyes. Underneath you see the body is covered in black feathers, as their form is that of a raven. And the elongated, or a crow, perhaps, one of the corvids of death. And as they approach, you see that their eyes in the mean are these sort of deep violet. As she approaches and looks over at the group of you, she sort of calls a second, and then her head sort of twitches. Which one of you is Frisian?
Frisian raises his hand.
Be this delightful fella.
Calliope didn't even say anything, just point.
Billy wanted me to bring you this, she says as she sort of walks over and lays down a fold-out map. You're also, and this, she says as she lays a slip of paper on the table. Pleasure to meet all of you. You can call me Morrigan. I'm the summer member of the Keepers.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you greatly.
That's a map of the area, generally around Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It's not super far out, so you won't see too much beyond that, but it should give you details of the area. It covers Williamsburg as well. That number is the information and address of Dr. Croak, who will be the doctor who will be able to get your medication up to date.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Hey, you got questions for me or Summer Court? Feel free to hunt me down. I'm usually somewhere over there. Feel free to ask if you need me. And she sort of turns almost like a military, just like a full about face, and just starts to walk out.
Fascinating.
To get up to some of these people make me wonder if I should have brought my sword.
Excuse me?
Point a thing.
Yeah.
I know
With
what
an
a
edge.
sword is. Thank you.
Right. It seems the hedge gave me a bit of way to defend myself. So, the paintbrush that I was stirred with for God knows how long, and a chunk of the glass I was kept in. So, this motley thing. Are we doing that? Or are we just... How are we doing this thing?
I mean, I am in support.
Sounds like a good idea.
Does I have as it stands, I'm a little bit afraid of commitment. But I'd be willing to give it a try.
Maybe we can do it for a base period and then maybe extend it from there if we need to.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Just
All right,
kind of
so-
wondering. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, who do we talk to about this then again?
Chelsea.
Was it Chelsea?
Yes, that would have been it.
Um, And Joe just kind of starts looking around like,
I look up.
You look up, and yeah, you see sort of crawling across the ceiling, sort of upkeeping things out, like vaguely out of everyone's immediate field of view because no one ever remembers to look up until they remember to look up. Chelsea seems to be sort of spidering across the ceiling, sort of like adjusting lights, making sure electrical maintenance is done, keeping everything in order from above.
Chelsea, darling,
You
you have a
call
moment.
you call her, and almost like slightly horror movie-esque, her head like snaps up to look at you, like that very fast and rapid shoot, and then her body sort of like spindles up, and she grabs a hold of a rope and starts to lower herself down until she's once again about eye level with you.
that is really
Yeah, that's good.
fascinating.
It's gonna take some getting used to. You say that you could possibly help us out with excuse me. You think you could possibly help us out with that whole motley thing that you were talking about?
Yeah, I can absolutely help out with that. I can walk you through the process of swearing an oath and how to formulate it and what it might entail and what you might get out of it and what might be the penalty for breaking it.
Oh dear, the terms and conditions. Here we go.
Well, that's entirely up to you to form. But the magic of a deal is in the making of it and in its balance. You can't make a deal without a penalty for breaking it. It's built into it.
I mean, that's fair. Is there the possibility of making this a set term,
Oh, yes.
so to speak?
We're all familiar with fairy tales, I would hope. There are so many deals and promises that last for a varying but thematically appropriate amount of time. 24 hours until the next new moon, a year and a day. Everything you might have heard out of a fairy tale.
1001 nights.
Something like that, yes. The duration is sort of up to you.
That
When
sounds like an agreeable situation to me.
do you agree?
Mhm.
When's the next new moon?
I mean, we just had one, so about a month from now.
I think that time frame might be a little bit a minimum.
Joe, is that something that you would be comfortable with?
I'd agree to that.
The Frisian? Frisian?
Rizian?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Wonderful then. So how do we go about this?
So, the thing you'll be swearing is an oath. One of several types of magical pledges that can be sworn between changelings and others.
I see.
In this particular case, you'll be making the Pledge of a Motley, in which you make a promise to act to your benefit and protect each other, the terms of which will generally be up to you to devise, but they will provide a variety of different benefits and a consequence for the breaking. Something, the terms are up to you to determine, but in general, such an oath would be something to swear camaraderie and a willingness to aid and protect each other through thick and thin until the duration of the bond be up, or some consequence on your head should you be found an oath breaker. This is typically also brought with some form of physical gesture, shaking of hands, a swearing of bonds if you're particularly old-fashioned, a trading of blood, something to seal the deal, a moment of shared friendship.
We can do without the blood. I think that would be put me much more in a comfort zone.
And the final thing that you need, an oath is sealed with a point of point mechanical. An oath is sealed with a piece of glamour from each of you who wish to enact it.
All right.
Okay.
Mechanically,
Yep.
you make a motley oath. You will promise to basically be allies and protect each other and help each other and not betray each other for the next month. And you will get a benefit, and there will be a consequence if you break that oath. There are a few example benefits, but you can also make one up with me if none of those sound good. The three that they list as examples are: once per chapter, you can treat a contract roll as a teamwork action, which means that all of you can roll together and try and make the contract effective that way. Everyone who does that must possess the contract for that to work. Another one is members of the motley can meditate for one turn and distribute their effective glamour evenly among the members. The weird consumes any leftover glamour as a tithe. Or the third one that it recommends is once per chapter, when representing the motley, a member can use the highest relevant social skill possessed by any member of the motley and apply the effects of any merit or kith blessing present in the group. The character doesn't need the motley's permission when representing them, but any consequences for that character's actions come down upon the motley as a whole. They can be varied. If none of those sound good, you can make one up with me and we can workshop something for you. Consequences come in similar forms. The three that they recommend is, for anyone who breaks the oath, a penalty to all contract rolls within the lands held by a forsworn leader. -3 is usually appropriate. Or the character might gain the sick tilt during the season of the court you betrayed, to say it was a court thing, or you might gain the sick tilt for the rest of the month for a motley oath. Or you might gain social penalties or the notoriety condition for members with your betrayed group, in this case the motley, or anyone nearby that knows of you, and so on.
Okay.
But basically, you pick a benefit and a consequence for your motley oath.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts?
I personally like the third option of being able to use the highest social stat
like
when
that.
representing the group.
I was gonna say I really kind of like that one too. I can turn you all into shade monsters.
Notably, you get the highest social skill, and you can apply any kith blessings or merits that any of you have that are relevant.
Oh, merits like etiquette,
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
which is essentially social combat.
Yep.
Um,
And you can do that once per chapter, which is essentially once per narrative arc, roughly a session or two.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I would assume it. Oh, yes. Also, social or seeming benefits. Yeah. Okay.
All I can think of
Yeah, it'd be power you guys the fuck up.
the merits part of it, just like I looked at my merits and I thought, I was like, yes, everyone can understand English now.
All right, you have the language merit for English.
Brazian's primary language is Dutch.
I would say
Fair.
that would work in reverse, in that if someone is representing the group, they would suddenly know Dutch, just in case it became relevant, and they needed to know
Right.
Dutch.
Yeah. Or we just need to speak in another language.
Yeah.
Because then there's 3 options.
So you want to use that one for your blessing?
That sounds delightful.
Yes.
All right.
I support this.
And then, what will be your consequence for failure? Honestly, the easy one is you get the sick tilt for the duration of the remaining contract if you break the oath.
Sleeping on the floor for a month. No, I'm trying to find that again. I don't remember. I don't remember everything that you said.
Oh, we lost Julia.
We lost Julia.
No. Oh no.
Oh,
When she gets back, we'll probably have to rearrange cameras.
Julia.
Yeah, but that'll be quick. What
not-
page is this on?
So the recommendations are on page 213.
Okay.
The sick tilt is on page 331.
Let me see. Hold on, rearranging. So I need to put you there. Does that? Nope. There. Does that fix it all? Yep, that fixed it all. Nope. Still. No, that fixed it all. Okay, we good.
Yeah.
Notoriety.
Page 313, you said?
213.
230. No, but the sick tilt
Oh,
is
the
on
sick tilt. The sick tilt is on 331.
331.
You're literally sick. You have nausea, fever, and the like.
I mean, that seems to be the easiest one.
It's the easiest one, yes.
Since we're... Go ahead.
I kind of like, from a meta perspective, the idea, since we're adding to social abilities as a benefit, that breaking it is you get the notoriety condition one.
Yeah.
And social
Like,
penalties.
you get the bonus, but if you break it, you get social consequences.
Makes sense.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can figure out the words of your promise if you want, or you can just say that we make said promise. Because the words can be whatever the promise you want to be.
I'm not
think
gonna.
we're just
I'm not
gonna
gonna
hand wave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you all spend a point of glamour and promise to be a motley for a month.
Dope.
And you all feel the rush of the weird sort of swirling around you to make that promise real and seal it in the magic of the magic that makes up you as a changeling.
Oh my.
And you now know this promise is real and will have consequences for breaking it, but for the duration of it, as a benefit that all of you can take advantage of.
I think I need a drink.
I think I need
yes.
another one.
I need another one and more interaction with that lovely gentleman made out of alcohol. So
I'm sorry. Come again?
Oh, you have to meet him. He's amazing.
Yes, loquacious.
Okay. After you.
Well, let's saddle up then.
You walk back over to the
course.
bar and are greeted once again by Loquacious. Welcome back, and I see you brought your friends over. What can I get you
I
this
did.
time?
Loquacious, this is Clappy, and this is Frisian. For me, just another old fashioned will be fine.
All right.
Clappy, Frisian. Don't know why my mouth just stopped functioning. What do you both want?
Long Island iced tea, but none of that well shit.
Alrighty. Coming up. for
Starting
discerning
off light,
customer.
I see.
Wait. Hold on. I need to have my wits about me and about
I was
how
gonna say, like not that, that I know there are certainly some people who need to have a certain amount of alcohol in their system to deal with the small humans, but
amaretto sour.
All right. One amaretto sour. And you, good sir, what can I get you? Looking at Frisian.
Not entirely sure. I know on the when I was on the West Coast, I got a taste for tequila. So let's go with something with tequila. Whatever you think
tequila
might be good.
sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, a tequila sunrise sounds about right. Dawn of a
It's
new age.
delightful. It is tequila. It is orange juice and just a little bit of grenadine for color and sweetness.
All right.
Can I get another
Sounds good.
screwdriver, please?
Certainly. And while, of course, the two of you, your first one's free, but the two of you, this is your second one, so we will need a
Yep,
little bit of
I'm
payment.
happy to pay up.
Pay up.
However, you might want that paid.
We can do cash for simple drinks.
Fair enough.
What do you do for complicated drinks?
That's all you want. Fine.
Complicated drinks that take favors and glamour.
Not where my head was headed with that, but fair enough.
No, I think it's just a very particular favor that's where
That is also very fair.
You
I
all,
fork over some cash.
yeah, you pay a light tab, and he
Listen,
makes you those extra drinks.
listen, I'm just saying, I find you about 31% attractive. We can talk about the other 69 later.
We got a sense of humor over here, he says, as he is flashily making his drinks. He seems to be making multiple drinks at once and somehow keeping all of them straight as he sort of like juggles them
Yeah.
between himself.
Can he literally juggle the drinks as he's making them?
I mean, he literally is at this point. He is tossing them through the air.
Is he full Kokomo?
Pretty much, yeah.
God, I haven't seen that fucking movie in forever.
Oh, the Tom Cruise with the cocktail?
Cocktail.
Absolutely, yeah.
I call it Kokomo because that's the Beach Boys song. That's
A Beach Boys song.
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it is a harder reference when you say go the full cocktail because that's just a general term for a drink.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were playing Kokomo during that whole scene, yeah.
Well, throughout, but yeah. I need to watch that again sometime. Anyway, sorry.
But yes, he is doing the full, like, showing off, flipping drinks around, serving them, mixing them up. With multiple drinks at once. And serves each of you your drink.
Frisian claps for him.
Thank you. I am happy to put on a show.
I bet you are. All right. Thank you very much. What? Nothing. Anyways, so yeah, sit down, some drinks. So, Calliope, you're going to be going to interact with the youth.
That was a sentence. End of delivery.
Frisian, what's your plan at this point?
The only thing that comes to mind is to look at this map and finish this drink.
Easy enough. Immediate goals. Nothing wrong with that.
Calliope is going to probably drink her drink a little faster than, like, not alarmingly fast or chugging it, but definitely faster than one should drink a cocktail. And excuse herself.
Mm-hmm. Do you want someone to come with you?
I think that might be. I think that'd be nice, actually. Yes.
All right. I will come with you. Now, Joe, you have a phone?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes. Oh. Calliope, can you put her phone number?
Yep.
And I can't figure that part out yet.
Okay.
I haven't figured out which button, which of these icons is the address book.
Can I just airdrop it to you, Calliope?
Yeah, that'll work.
Right.
I'm sorry. Never mind. Not important now.
She
I was
will
about
get
to
that
say, was
added to both
airdrop
phones.
airdrop like 2020, or was that literally like the last couple of years?
AirDrop. Oh no, AirDrop's been a thing for a long time.
Okay,
Anything, yeah.
I don't share my phone contact information with people a lot, so I've never had to use it. So
I don't use airdrop a lot. I just
Like AirDrop is. I was doing tech support for people that included AirDrop in that when I was working for Apple through a third party, and that was like 2010,
okay, so yeah, it's been a while.
2011, something like that. Yeah.
I think airdrop was a thing when I was in school still.
Yeah.
And that's been a decade.
It is post Marlena Jackson, but definitely pre Calliope.
Yeah.
I don't know how you. Yeah.
You get that
I don't know
content
how
information,
you. I don't know how you just get past when I didn't see anything now, but I'm just gonna go with it. These are wonders of modern technology, and if you need anything, just call or texting is still a thing, right?
yes, texting
Yes.
is still a
I'm
thing.
not sure if that was going to be a fad or what. So, all right,
No.
one of those things. Prison, we need to get you a phone.
Well, we can have a group chat.
Thought we were having a group chat now.
Oh,
I'm assuming that this is something in terms of like group texting, something like that. That's a thing that
yes.
phones can do now.
Yes,
That
it
doesn't
is.
surprise me. Apparently, they can look up internet things now too. So
Yes.
I mean, they could then, but listen, in my time, when you had to look something up, you better hope that you've got a good data plan, and cheap, because those overages, those are gonna kill you.
I'm aware my well, you're not gonna like this very much, but my
Say
parents
the
told me all
words
about
you were about to say, darling. Go ahead and say them.
I said my parents told me all about that.
Quite all right. Listen, I was old before I got grabbed. So
Well, at least now I feel like I have a purpose.
making me feel old.
Well, that. And at least can help with the current times anyway.
Ah, yes, that will be quite helpful, and I'm sure that you have a lot that you can offer.
We'll see.
Anyways, Clappy, lead the way.
You will
Don't
lead the
ha-
two of them
Yep.
back out into the park proper.
And yeah, you see, there's been a rapid influx of children into the park as it has indeed passed the time that Kids Day has begun. And you see kids everywhere with their parents, just sort of exploring the
dear.
park because apparently kids get in either discounted or free. You're not sure which.
Hmm.
You rethinking helping me? Because you can always go right back in there.
It is quite all right. Listen, I've done many a brunch in my time. I can handle this.
Hey. I personally don't really have a plan for how Calliope's doing this, other than just walking around and keeping an eye out for those colors.
You can either roll me wits and composure, or if you think there's a different skill check that might work, you can roll that. If you sell me on it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go wits and composure.
All right. Would you like to spend a willpower on this?
I would. How?
So when you spend a willpower, you just mark one of those down, and you will add 3 bonus dice to your roll.
So how do I add the bonus dice to the roller? Or is there not an option to do that?
Let me double check. When you hit the roll button, there will be a modifier.
Oh, okay.
All right. God, dark mode still doesn't work with that. All right, 3 successes. Well, damn. All right. So it's about half an hour of just sort of wandering the park and sort of getting to see everything and looking around and keeping your eyes open. When you have that instant flash of recognition and something immediately snaps your head to the side as you feel as something you just saw on your peripheral immediately draws your attention. And just sort of rounding a corner, walking away from you, you see the tail end of a long braided ponytail that at the top of the head is a familiar bright teal blue that then halfway, partway down, tapers into a brilliant crimson red.
There are no words. There is nothing. Calliope is just dashing.
Oh, I am going after as quick as I can.
Is Marlena in heels?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say that's a
absolutely.
stupid question.
Can Marlena run in heels?
Yes,
We'll find out.
Definitely.
absolutely. Clappy, sweetie, I can only run so fast, honey. Oh, you're gone. Oh, I will catch up.
So you round a corner, and you see sort of walking in a direction away from you. You see the back of them. A leather bike jacket thrown over a pair of like average width shoulders. Uh, uh, Pale legs, wearing a pair of cutoff shorts to help with the temperature, and tall like leather boots. with that familiar teal, bright blue hair that seems to be like it looks like a series of individual braids that all sort of weave together into one large braid that reaches down to about mid back, and like just as it leaves the head turns into that brilliant scarlet, has several like old fashioned leather bands wrapped around the braid itself. um and they are holding hands with a pair of small children, maybe 5 or 6, uh as they sort of walk around the park and look around and examine everything. You hear a voice that evokes so many memories and yet also seems completely unfamiliar, that says to one side, "Don't run, Modi. We've got places to be. We'll find everything." And you hear just a short while later the girl on their right arm says, "Mommy, look at that!" And you hear the voice again. "Yes, it looks very interesting, Penthesilea. We'll see everything in time. Don't worry."
Calliope is going to have been following at a distance, probably trying to keep about 10 feet in between her and the individual, but is not being subtle and not attempting to hide.
Probably doesn't help that now that you guys have slowed down. 6'1" person in heels comes up behind you. I'm so out of shape. Sigh. All right.
Yeah, those just and she'll point.
I just follow your gaze. Is that who we're looking for?
You have to forgive me. I'm about to run again.
All right. Hold on.
And
All
you
right.
so as you say that and you're having that conversation, you notice that this person sort of walks over to one of the like places where you can walk in and sort of sit down, and she sort of pats both of them on the back and says, "Go grab us a table real quick. I'll be right back." And sends both of them inside to go and sit down, and then sort of walks over and around a corner.
Calliope's gonna follow.
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna keep track. Make sure. Need anything? Yell.
And she's going to quickly follow.
Really,
you're not-
just leans up against something. And,
you're not even thinking, as you just sort of run after them. And as you round a corner into what appears to be a relatively secluded alley, you find yourself grabbed by the shoulder, spun around, slammed into a wall, and a pistol sort of pressed up against you as this person that you have dreamed of seeing for so long goes, "Who the fuck are you, and why are you following me and my kids?" And that's where we're going to end for the week.
all right. Bye.
Bye.